Hiya, hello, and welcome back to another One Piece manga chapter review. Today we have chapter 1150, titled Domi Reversi. So after the end of last chapter, I would imagine we're picking up right where we left off with Imu taking possession of Gunko and making an appearance on Elbaf, which is really really out of left field for in terms of how the story has been unfolding so far, but it does make a lot of sense because the God's Knights that have showed up in Elbaf have been a bit of a challenge, but nowhere near the kind of threat that we usually see at the end of these types of arcs. It would be two arcs in a row. Well, I guess one and a half arcs really, where we haven't had a singular major antagonist to face off against Luffy because we had the five elders on Egghead, which, taken together as a unit, probably would give Luffy trouble if it was a 1v5 sort of situation, or even all 10 of the Straw Hats versus the five elders, which it kind of was, even though the Straw Hats were focused on escape rather than the actual fight. But it hasn't been since Kaido that we've had a arc where there's a singular antagonist that is really strong, and Luffy knows that's the person he has to defeat in order to attain his goals for that arc. And it feels like we're not going to have that for a while still, but Emu showing up here on the island is a big kind of sort of nod to that at the very least. Even though I don't think Emu is going to be able to fight fights in this form, but you never know. So without further ado, let's hop into the chapter. And the title is interesting because Domi Reversi is, I think it's supposed to be Latin, and Latin it means returning home. So what does that mean? Now, it could just be that the words were chosen because they just sound cool, and it could be that there's a secondary meaning that's being looked out for because of course there's the Reversi, which has the basically the stem of reversal, so reversing something, and Domi, which means home, domain, but you could also kind of consider it as demonic, so could it be that there's a secondary meaning that's intended by the chapter title, but either way, that's the title. We've got more of our cover story. Only Child Yamato and the Holy Inari Shrine Pilgrimage, Volume 34. Yasui's sword is laid to rest at Enma Shrine in Hakumai. Pilgrimage complete. So the pilgrimage is completed at this point. Is this the end of the cover story? I don't know because they still have to return that straw hat to Kawamatsu. But maybe it's complete or maybe it's not. Either way, this portion, if this is not the entire pilgrimage, this portion of the pilgrimage is complete at least. It's been a rather long cover story, so that's interesting. Notes from Oda: I went to Glaze Cheru's house for Golden Week and had my fill in Hakodate. It was delicious as it was fun. It was as delicious as it was fun. Okay, so Oda enjoyed himself for Golden Week, which is good. Speaking of Golden Week, we hop right into the chapter with the children in danger. The adults have arrived. The children, thank God they're alright. So I guess these are the parents of the kids. Barguy, my daddy was pushed down into the realm of the dead. What? Yasan fell? That mean lady did it. Watch out. Dad, Mama. So we got the kids running towards their parents. Colin's in the front talking about how Gabon got pushed off the island into the realm of the dead. So the parents walking up to the children. Yeah, what? Huh? What? This is mayhem. We've got huge waves of Conqueror's Hockey lightning spilling out from somewhere in the island or the branch. She's floating. You must have been scared. Let's get you away. So, okay, what happened is the parents were approaching the kids. Emu's Hockey leached out and knocked out at least some of the parents, maybe all of them. Oh yeah, it's knocked out all the parents and all the kids. So that's pretty powerful hockey because these are Giants of Elbaf. And depending on the ages of some of the adults, we're talking about the old class of Elbaf Giants, which were warriors of quite a bit of strength and renown. So Emu being able to knock them out with hockey, Conqueror's Hockey, would be no small feat. Now we're back to Dorian Brogy. Oi, whoa, even some members of the Dare crew are starting to be knocked out. Now we're with Mountain Beard and some people around him. Looks like they're getting knocked out by the hockey, so the hockey is permeating all of Elbaf and knocking out people all across the entire island. And then we get this cool shot of Emu Gunko. And fully embracing the whole devil motif, we've got Gunko's got a demon tail. This confirms that the arrow thing that's pierced Sabo when Emu's powers were first sort of being semi-revealed, that wasn't the arrow, it was a devil tail. So that confirms the devil/demon aspect of Emu's powers. Gunko is also carrying a demon trident and has huge demonic/bat wings. It's a really great panel, and she's of course floating in the air. I shan't permit a rebellion. Wah! This is all your dream demons. Is this all your dream demons amount to, Killingham? Then Emu creates a portal and something is starting to come through the portal. Shroom Jolt. Not at all, my lord. There are still many nightmare fissures left open, says Killingham. These monsters were born from the nightmares of this island. They are creatures made from dreams with no concept of death. I can revive them at any time. I just need to give a signal. Now we're back to Straw Hats looking on. Summers, shepherd those urchins. At once, my lord. Huff, huff. He's still alive, so the Straw Hats that are captured there see that St. Summers is still alive and he's starting to get up. The only one in the sky is the woman from earlier, right? She's barely recognizable, says Jinbei. Where are Luffy and the others now? Says Robin. Well, now Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji should be, says Nami. They're with Harujin and his crew. This is the worst time they could have chosen to go to the realm of the dead. What are you doing, Robin? Robin is struggling, trying to pull the thorns off. I can't just sit here and do nothing. It's unbearable. We get a shot of the library still on fire, burning. Now Summers is regenerating and starting to speak. But first, Emu is talking. It is imperative that we establish a suitable authority, one capable of striking the proper ransom for those adolescents. It's just as you say, my lord. What do you do with a country that has no king? Damn you, Gabon. That was painful. Blue Ogre Dory, Red Ogre Brogy, I command thee to claim dominion of this island. Henceforth ye shall reign as kings of Elbaf. And as Emu is saying this, Dory and Brogy and their crew are running towards Emu. You're one of those gods' knights? Hey, you! All this chaos is your fault. And then Brogy reaches out and grabs Emu. Dory and the rest of you guys, run up ahead. You got it, Captain. Be careful, Brogy. I'm taking those kids back. How many of you are there? And Brogy is now squeezing Emu as he talks. Listen, Brogy, go and meet with Mountain Beard Yarrow. You shall take his head and raise it up high. And as Emu is saying this, they are summoning what looks like a spell book. They created a portal, and out of it is rising a book that has a summoning circle / pentagram thing drawn on it. Now the book is opening. Then proclaim to the people of this island, we are the kings of Elbaf. And now the book pages are flipped open and some sort of magic is leaking out of it. That's crazy talk. This is our homeland. You don't call the shots here. And from the book, the magic is transformed into it's like a double-barrel shotgun, and there's a dagger floating in the mist. Emu grabs the dagger and stabs it into Brogy's hand. Roar! Then grabs the double-barrel shotgun and aims it. It would be intolerable to leave this matter unsettled. Now accept my ungodly power. And Emu fires a blast into Brogy's wrist. Wah! It's quite a powerful blast, it seems. Yeah. It is a powerful blast. The blast is so strong, it completely severs Brogy's hand. Ah, the captain's arm! What, Chief? It can't be. The Chief is as tough as nails. And we see Brogy kneeling over, holding his arm, and his hand is completely severed. His hand is on the ground. I won't forgive that woman. Thou shalt cast aside thy lifespan for a body unyielding to death. Under Mu's dominion thou shalt be granted with unprecedented strength. No longer shalt thou be bound by reason, nor by common sense. Becoming a demon is truly the pinnacle of existence. A coral, Coeurl, 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 demonic contract. A demon? What is she trying to do now? So, Emu has drawn a summoning circle in the air, and a summoning circle has appeared on the ground beneath Brogy's feet. Duh, I'm sinking! And now Brogy is sinking into the ground where the summoning circle is. Domi Reversi. Translator's note, the kanji reads as Black Dominion Reversion. So it's sort of as I was expecting. The kanji is giving a secondary meaning, Black Dominion Reversion. So it is a reversion, a reversal of the person into a demon. Whoa! Whoa, boss! And we see the summoning circle is raising up off the ground, and it is traveling up over Brogy's body. And as his body passes through the circle, basically, it's turning black. Or becoming silhouetted. Wait! And the circle completely engulfs Brogy and completely passes through it. There's fire. Huh? And Brogy appears as a demon now. Ah, he really turned into a demon. He's even bigger now. What happened to you, Captain Brogy? And so we see a demonic Brogy. He's got the huge bat wings like Gunko. His clothes have changed to black. He's got a black cape. He now has huge demon fangs and huge demon horns. Huh. And he's carrying a huge black axe. What happened to you, Captain Brogy? His face is scary. Give the chief back. Chief Brogy would never turn on his comrades. A warrior's pride. And he swings his axe, knocking away all of his comrades that were there. Also forgot to mention that his arm is still severed. So, okay, it's interesting. His arm is still severed, but now it is floating. It's floating as if still connected to his arm. So he's basically got his arm back, but not really. But that's an interesting thing to note because Imu's power has taken over Brogy, so he should have all the immortality and regeneration. So why hasn't his arm regenerated so that his hand is connected back to his arm? Instead, it seems like there's an invisible arm, an invisible section of his arm reconnecting his hand. So why hasn't he regenerated that arm? There has to be some meaning to that. Is it because he had lost his arm before gaining Imu's power? So Imu's power can't truly regenerate something that you had lost before being possessed? Is that what's happening? What the indication is here? So if you had already lost your power, lost a limb, or been dealt some sort of damage, and then Imu takes over you or grants you power, immortality, you don't automatically regenerate whatever that lost limb was you lost before. Okay. So Brogy swings his axe, knocks away all of his comrades. Ga ba 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 ba. I feel like I can do anything. This is exhilarating. And all the while, Brogy's eyes are completely whited out and have a trail of demonic flame coming from them. Why? He took out Boss Dory. Yeah. Let's go kill y'all. Come on, you bastards. Hold on, what are you saying, Chief Dory? You can't take something like that back. You've got to stop these two. What about rescuing the kids? So now we see that Brogy has gone to where the other giants are, and Emu has taken over Dory as well. So now Dory is demonic as well. He's got the same pitchfork. He's got the black clothes and black cape. He's got the black demon bat wings and the trident. Swoop, flip. What? You guys too? So now summoning circles have swallowed up the other members of the giant warrior pirates. Now they're becoming demons too. Is it because they were standing between those two? Maybe. In any case, we've got to go. Yeah. This is the true power of Elbaf. This is not without... It is not without merit. Prepare for battle. We get this shot of Dory and Brogy and several members of the giant warrior pirates, all demons now, possessed by Emu's power, and standing behind them are the revived nightmares. And then up front, we've got the last few remaining of the giant warrior pirates running away. This nation shall not be laid to waste. It is to be ruled. Let us bear witness to how they serve the crucible of war. Lord Jarl, you have to run away. Chief Dory and Brogy are acting strange. Run away! Warriors do not know the meaning of the word run. Chapter end. So, okay. Big chapter here. First of all, we get the full-on final confirmation. We had the little tiny hints going about, like the summoning circles being summoning circles, the pentagram, the what looked like a devil tail at the time, stabbing through Sabo. In this chapter, we get the basic confirmation that yes, Emu's power is demonic. Emu is a demon or has demonic powers. That power can be granted to others. It makes them into demons. And obviously, anyone that Emu has granted the power to, Emu can take possession of if need be. That demonic power has been assumably granted to all the God Knights. Or maybe just the God Knights that don't have Devil Fruit powers, perhaps. Also, this indicates that perhaps the Devil Fruit powers are indeed separate from Emu's power. So, for instance, the 5 Gorosei all do have Devil Fruit. And Emu's power just grants them the demonic power. But the devil fruit power, the transformations, animal forms and such, those are all just from regular old devil fruit powers. Even though it seems Emu's power does have some transformation ability, because granting the power to Dory and Brogy, it made them even larger. They were regular sized giants. Now they are, let's see, looking at their size. Are they ancient giant size? I think they are. If they're not at ancient giant size, they're close to ancient giant size, because now they tower over the regular giants. And thinking back to the Paramount War, it's about the scale that Ors Jr. was compared to the giant Navy soldiers that were regular giants. It's also interesting, Emu's goal is to take over Elbaf. So Emu wants this island for its power. Emu interestingly says that the island needs a king. What king? I want to go back to the line. About a kingless nation. Yes, it is imperative that we establish a suitable authority, one capable of striking a proper ransom for the adolescents. No, that wasn't the line. Or maybe that was the line. No, there was something about a kingless nation. Either way, the line was indicating that Emu likes to establish monarchies in nations to I'm reading through trying to find the line, but Emu likes to establish and maintain monarchies in nations because that keeps the people under control. So, a kingless nation. Oh, it was Summers that gave the line. So, Emu says to Summers, it's imperative that we establish a suitable authority, one capable of striking a proper ransom for the adolescents. And then Summers says, it's just as you say, my lord. What do you do with a country that has no king? So that kind of dovetails into that whole theme about conquerors and people that are born to stand over and rule over others or have that capability. In Elbaf, there has been no king. There's a god that they all believe in, and they believe that god settles disputes and decides things. At least that was the old way of Elbaf. And so Emu's plan here seems to be to establish Dory and Brogy as kings. Then Dory and Brogy will pay the ransom for the children. Even though at this point, it's all for show, because once Emu takes over Dory and Brogy and has them kill the one mountain deer, Jarl Mountain Deer, who's the closest thing to a king in Elbaf. and take his place, then there's no need to ransom the children because Emu already has control of Elbaf at that point. Then the question here is, what are the Straw Hats going to do? What are the remaining Straw Hats going to do? If they get loose, they could probably fight with the God Knights. But then Emu's there. And I don't think any of the Straw Hats are really going to be prepared to fight Emu. And then we have the spell book, which is another interesting thing. Emu summons the spell book. The spell book opens up, and out of the spell book come weapons. Powerful weapons. It's really interesting. So, if this is all as it appears to be, these are not just ordinary weapons because that was a double-barrel shotgun with power capable enough to sever a giant's arm. Not just any giant's arm, it separated Brogy's arm in a single shot, a single blast. And that dagger that was capable of stabbing into his hands, causing him pain. So, through that book, Emu appears to have some manifestation capability, which is, it's hard to say if it's on par with Luffy in Gear 5 or not, because we haven't seen the full extent of what Luffy can create and manifest while in Gear 5. We've seen him do little things for comedic effect, like creating goggles out of thin air, but could Luffy manifest weapons? If so, it would mean that their powers are very similar. But then Emu has this possession power. So manifestation, possession, demonic power. There was a light theory of Emu have a connection to the devil fruits, which I don't know if this makes that theory more likely, but we sort of have confirmation that Emu's a devil, so devil fruits from the devil Emu. No, not entirely sure. But then we have Emu drawing a summoning circle in the air. That summoning circle created a mirroring summoning circle around Brogy. Okay, Brogy's severed hand was inside the circle. And that might be why his hand is semi-connected to him. If his hand was outside of the circle, Brogy might have turned into a demon with only one hand, only one arm. But because his hand was inside the circle, it is semi-connected. So it can't be fully reattached, but it can be semi-connected if it's within the circle. Then we have this demonic contract. Hmm. The name is demonic contract, but is it a contract really? Because contracts are volitional, so what is being given up? What is being freely given up to attain these demonic powers? Or is name demonic contract just a name, and an ironic one at that, because the victim is turned into a demon completely against their will, no volition at all. Either way, there's something to that. Domain reversion. Black domain reversion. And now Elbaf has certainly escalated. This doesn't look like the kind of thing that's going to be wrapped up in a few chapters. So does this mean the island falls and the Straw Hats are going to have to escape Elbaf? I mean, it's possible. Okay. Well, and there's no break next week from the looks of things. Very good. Let's bear witness to how they serve in the crucible of war. So Emu wants to see how the giants react to this. Also, what is Jarl going to do? Is Jarl just going to try and fight them? Obviously, we're going to have to see where Luffy and Loki are. Loki might have a lot more information about this, because his father was once the king, and his father was in dealings with the world government. Maybe not as far up as Emu or the elders, but at the very least, the Gods Knights seems like a possibility. It may even be possible that Emu tried to take over before. Like, the story is that Loki killed his father. So if, for example, Emu possessed Loki's father, and Loki managed to kill his father, that would indicate that Loki found a way to deal with the immortality. Or maybe Loki killed his father before Emu had a chance to possess him. Either way, it's possible Loki will have some more information that he could give to the Straw Hats regarding this. And Chopper, doesn't seem like Chopper had a chance to get close to observe Saint Summers, see if he could figure out something about this immortality regeneration power. Also, because Gaban got knocked off into the realm of the dead, he's probably not dead. He'll be alive, and falling all the way to the realm of the dead, he will be able to tell Luffy, would be able to tell Luffy and the others what's going on up higher up on the Elbaf Island proper, and that's going to be the signal they get that it's time to go up. Dory and Brogy. See if he's, I mean, we've seen a lot from Dorian Brogy. Probably not Yonko level. I'll say that. Even together, they're probably not Yonko level, but I think they're strong enough that it's a reasonable fight. Especially since the goal would be to subdue them, not to kill them. And the real thing is going to be finding out how to break Inu's possession, if that's possible. I think that's going to be the big takeaway from this arc. If there's anything that the Straw Hats can take away from this, it will be the knowledge of how to defeat Inu's possession. Because if they don't gain that knowledge, then they won't be able to help anyone in the future that gets possessed by Inu. Also, if they don't figure that out, they won't have a way to stop what's happening on Elbaf here. Because as it stands, Elbaf is going to go one of two ways. Either A, the Straw Hats are going to escape the island and leave it in this state, which means they'll have to come back to Elbaf to free it eventually. The other option is they fight here and now and free the island. Are the Straw Hats capable of doing this at this time? I don't know. It feels like a lot. Which means, are we setting up for another escape? Because if this is the state of Elbaf, if they leave this as the state of Elbaf, that would mean they have to escape. It would mean they have to take Vegapunk and Bonnie with them again, back out into the open seas where the world government is already hunting for Vegapunk specifically, and they want to see Vegapunk destroyed and Bonnie now, because Bonnie is a key to turning off the control of the pacifistas. Even though the world government, I think, is trying to move to a place where they rely less and less on the pacifista, but they still really, really are attached to and like the pacifistas. Ideally, I think the world government wants the pacifistas in combination with the Seraphim, and to achieve that end, they would have to get rid of Bonnie, so I don't know. It could be that they run away, but if they run away, they have to take the Will and Bonnie with them, along with any giants they can save, so maybe. Maybe this is a runaway, maybe this is a stay and fight. And I guess there is one thing we can't underestimate is the will of the giants. It's not just that they have strength of physical strength, they also have a lot of mental strength. At least the previous generation of giants, the warriors, they have the minds, the wills of warriors. Pretty sure none of them have Conqueror's Haki though. And I'm wondering if that would have made a difference. Also confirmation that Emu has Conqueror's Haki and that it's strong Conqueror's Haki, permeating the entire island and knocking out giants from all around the island. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for now. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. And I will catch you in the next chapter review. Take care.